What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. Today we are trying Jeff Nippard's lean bulk diet. I'll show you how I model my diet after his. So first thing he likes to start off with is some cardio. So I'm going to do some faster cardio and I'll see you guys for meal number one. Alright guys, so I'm actually walking on my treadmill right now. It's pretty rainy and gloomy outside, and to be honest, I always walk inside anyways on my treadmill. I turned into a little desk so I can actually get some work done while I walk. And yeah, so I'm gonna walk for about an hour. I just had a bit of caffeine. I had like a pre-workout, like a half scoop. So I'm taking that as I walk and get some work done. And then I will show you what he typically does for meal number one. All right, guys, so we're having meal number one. This is basically what Jeff ate in the video. So I actually had an apple while I was cooking. He likes to have kiwis, that's his favorite fruit. I didn't have any kiwis, I had apples. So I'm like, I'm just gonna have an apple. So I have one whole egg mixed with 75 grams of egg whites. I have 15 grams of sugar-free ketchup, 2 slices of chicken bacon, and 2 hash browns. This looks really tasty. Oh, and I have 30 grams of goat cheese. So that's kind of melting on this, pretty nice. So I had that. All I had this morning was a scoop of this. This is from my sponsor, Revolution Nutrition. Check them out. Link is in the description. This is basically a nootropic BCAAs. It has 100 milligrams of caffeine in it. So I took that to kind of help me like wake up while I was walking. I walked for about an hour while I was doing some work and some reading. I like to like superset tasks together. So for me, if I'm walking, I'm not just gonna walk just to walk. It's boring. I want to try and get as much work done as I can. So for me, I'm either answering messages, emails, or getting work done or reading. So that's why I like to do things together. So I'm gonna enjoy this. This looks so freaking good. And I will post the calories right over here. So you can see, I'm trying to model mine as close to his diet as I can while staying in my caloric goal. So I'm trying to eat about 2,500. I typically eat about 2,400, but this is a lean bulk, which is his diet he was approaching. So my mains is about 2,500 anyway, so I just wanted to stick with that and see how I feel off eating more whole foods. Because if you see my diet, it's not very whole food like. So basically the premise of Jeff's video is he's lean bulking. So what he was trying to basically do is he set up his macros. Like he follows, well, in the video he talks about how he has his macros set up. I don't really follow the macros per se. I'm actually modeling it very similar to him for myself. But typically I only count protein and total calories. I'm kind of main gaining. So my calories are about at maintenance. For me, it's a lean bulk. I actually have a very slow metabolism, contrary to what people think. People think I have a really high metabolism because on my Instagram it shows that I eat a lot of junky kind of foods, but I just take the foods I like and figure out how to make it more voluminous and tasty. But yeah, so he's doing about 220 grams of protein. I'm doing about like 170. That's more than I usually do. I usually do like 140 to 160. But protein is very satiating. So the higher protein you have, you'll be more full. Also, I don't know if you guys know this, there's like a thermic effect of food. Protein actually, it takes more calories to digest the protein than it does for carbs and for fats. But I don't really like, for me, I just hit my base protein. I have ranges that I like to stay in. Like I said, it was like between like 140 and 160. I weigh 160. Today I weighed in 160.4, I believe. I like to weigh in daily. If I'm on a slight deficit, I feel like dieting in a slight deficit is honestly very beneficial. Like you're always getting slightly leaner and you're not in such a big deficit, you're getting weaker. You're basically at maintenance. Like I'm literally eating 100 calories below what I think my maintenance is. So I test my maintenance. I was eating in a range. You'll never know exactly what it is because every day it changes. Because in terms of your output. So I walk every day, basically 5 or 6 days at least a week for an hour. Sometimes I'll wear a weighted vest, a 40-pound vest. Sometimes I don't. Just depending on if I'm feeling recovered, if my back is sore from just carrying the weight. But that's kind of like a staple. I do that, I work out. Now my split is 3 days on, 1 day off, 3 days on, 1 day off. And on my 1 day off, I like to do high intensive cardio, like hitting my punching bag, or I'll do some, and I'll do some stretching. That's like my new goal is to stretch a lot more. Hey guys, so I'm actually gonna work out soon. I just took a pre-workout. I was gonna eat a meal, but I'm still kind of full from the first. So instead of eating it exactly like how he does, he has his pre-workout meal and then he takes his pre-workout drink. I basically had my meal at like 1 o'clock, my first meal, the one I showed you, and now it is like 2-ish. It's like 2:30. I just took the pre-workout like 5-10 minutes ago. So it's been about like 2 hours, an hour and a half. So I'm gonna work out back and biceps. My brother also wants to work out now. So I'm gonna be doing some back and bis, and I will have the post-workout meal after, and I'll show you what that is. All right, guys, so I finished working out, and I'm having what he's having post-workout. So I have 40 grams of oatmeal. I put a bit of cinnamon, and the protein I'm using is, it's this guy. It's the Churro Dessert Whey. This is 160 calories, so it's a bit more calories than normal, but it's got these little flavor balls in it. So I'm having this post-workout. I had a sick arm workout. I'll post some clips.
If you like prison food and penis.
All right, guys, so I'm actually having his pre-workout meal post-workout. I had the oatmeal after, so I don't have, I'm not eating as much as him, as I mentioned earlier. So I didn't have the blueberries, and I actually don't have any spinach. So I have 3.7 grams of turkey breast, 2 servings of light mayo, so it's 30 grams of mayo. Put some mustard on there, 2 slices of like whole wheat bread, and a banana, which is 120 grams. I actually did weigh out the banana, so I know how much. Fruits vary in sizes, so if you're having high sugar fruits, I would kind of encourage you to measure it once in a while, because there's so many different sizes and different calories. So I measured this, and it's like about 100 calories or so, or 80 calories. So I'm gonna smash this guy. It looks pretty tasty. I don't really eat sandwiches. I use light cheese. I did 30 grams of that, and yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this and catch up with you guys later on. So basically his premise of this video is, can you build fat and lose, can you build muscle and lose fat at the same time? And the answer is yes. There's always opposing studies that you're gonna find. They're gonna say you always need to be in calorie deficit to lose body fat. You're gonna always need to be in a calorie surplus to build muscle. But I've honestly found the sweet spot personally. This is what his video is kind of dictating, showing that you can do both. Just eating around maintenance, slightly below, slightly above. He's eating slightly above. I typically always eat slightly below. I feel better at a lower body fat percentage all the time. I just feel like I'm fat phobic. I've been obese most of my life, so when I have a little bit of fat, I just don't feel good, and the confidence, everything just goes out the window. So I like to be lean, like I prefer it. So I always eat in a slight deficit, and I'll post a picture up here. I'm the exact same weight, but you can see so much more muscle and not much fat difference at all. My body weight has gone up, like my lean body mass definitely has gone up. Like I'm filling out clothes like a lot more than I used to. I'm like the same size clothes, but like I just look huge in clothes. And when I take off my shirt, I actually look a lot more ripped and bigger. And I'm like the same weight. I'm like 160. I'm like 5'10 and a half, 5'11, and I'm 160-ish. My lowest is, I think, been like 145 like years ago. Highest is 215. So I'm always in that range. So I definitely feel like so one thing I did personally was I would cut and bulk over and over, and I just get fat and skinny, and then the entire time I'm just skinny fat in between. And I never felt I had sustainable results because I'd go too hard either way. Literally being right in the middle is the sweet spot. So I'm gonna enjoy this meal, and I'll catch up with you guys later. All right, guys, so we're having, I guess, the last real meal of the day. So he does a bowl of chili his mom actually makes and puts the macros on it. So I was actually going to the store. I was gonna do pasta, but I found a low-calorie chili. It's like not that many calories. So what I did was I added 75 grams of extra lean ground beef and 30 grams of light shredded cheese. So I'm gonna have some chili. I haven't had chili in a long time, so I'm stoked to try this out and just letting the chili melt. So I was actually pretty close in terms of matching my calories to him, and it's kind of nice. I'm eating fairly different from what I normally would eat. All right, guys, so I just finished the chili, and honestly, it was fire. It was just a canned chili. It was like a lower fat chili with the other stuff I added in, the cheese and the extra lean ground beef. I'm really full. I still have one more meal, which is pretty sweet. So I made some notes I'm gonna go over, and I'm actually kind of happy because I didn't spill any sauce on me. So pro level right there. So my total calories is gonna be 2494 for the day. Jeff's was around 2800. So he's saying he wants to be able to eat more over time, but he did say it takes several months. It's not like 6 weeks. You have to test and see how many calories your body can take without gaining fat. So as you put on strength and muscle and size, your body's going to require more calories over time. So it's not like going to be as fast as you think. It's going to take some time. So I'm doing what works for me, because if I were to jump and copy his diet exactly, I'm not going to get the results he's going to get, because it doesn't work like that. Everyone's different. He is a lot shorter than me. I'm 5'11". He's, I think, 5'6". But we're about the same weight, and he is a lot more muscular than me. He has like probably 30 pounds of muscle on me. Lean body mass, like he's really fit. So he talks about gradually increasing his calories from 2600 to 2800. The video he's doing it around 2800, and then his goal is to get to 3200, around 3400. So there's different parts about he talks about the benefits of having higher protein. So when you have more protein, protein's very satiating. Think of it this way: can you sit down and eat like 10 chicken breasts in one sitting? No, it's a lot. It fills you up really quick. So protein in general, even shakes. When I have shakes, I have like a stack over there. Ooh, almost armbarred myself. Like when I do that myself, that's actually a way I like to diet. I like to front load my protein. I have a lot of protein earlier in the day, so it keeps me full, and then I have a lot of flexibility in the evening for carbs and fats. It's like, for example, when I'm working and I'm on the road, I would just do shakes and a protein bar or two, and that's like all the protein I would need. It's like 100 grams earlier in the day, and then I've hit 100 grams of protein, and then I can eat not whatever I like, but within my calories for the rest of the day. So I still have that one last meal left. He has a little chip and dip. I got to do some editing and some work. So I will catch up with you guys, and we'll go over the diet at the end of the day. All right, guys, so we're having our last meal of the day. Jeff likes to have a snack. He has a little salad, kale salad. That salad's actually really good. I usually have it, but I don't today. And he has cottage cheese with some crackers, and it looks pretty interesting. I'm not a huge cottage cheese guy. I use it for like cooking and sweet stuff. I don't usually ever eat it for savory stuff. So I'm gonna take some of this cottage cheese, and I'm gonna have it with this and kind of spread it on top. And I have no idea how it's gonna taste. Apparently it tastes good. But I got these everything rice cakes from Walmart. I'm gonna have half the packs of 7. They're higher in calories than the butter one, but they taste really good. I've had them plain by themselves, so I'm just curious if it's gonna taste good with the cottage cheese. I've seen people do it before. It's kind of like not really my style, but I'm gonna try it out, and I'll let you know how I think, or what I think of it. Right now it's about 11:30 at night. I'm gonna be up for a couple hours working. So one thing that's nice with the quarantine, I get to sleep. I work and sleep weird hours. I try and literally be as productive as I can. So this is the everything style, like everything bagel style rice cake. It's really tasty, but I'm curious how it's gonna go with this. So cottage cheese on this rice cake. He says he dips it with chips, to be fair. But I've seen people do some weird stuff. So what are your weird food hacks that, what's the word? Unpopular opinions. Comment down below. I'm curious. Maybe if it's good, I'll try it. But if it really weirds me out, I probably won't. But you know what? I'm not mad at all. It's kind of like cream cheese, but with the seasoned rice cake. Honestly, I like this. This cottage cheese has a lot of protein in it in itself. I did one serving, it's 125 grams. This, I believe, is $3.50 for all 7. So you can do popcorn. I like to do the Smart Pop popcorn. I do have some, but I want to kind of do some crackers, and I like the flavor, and I saw this at the stores. So honestly, this is a really solid snack. Like, when I watch stuff like UFC, that's usually my day off. I like to watch UFC and just watch for a couple hours the fights. And I snack on stuff. I used to eat ice cream. I usually do like a tub of Haagen-Dazs or Ben & Jerry's, or I'll make my own ice cream. But this is a really good idea because you're getting a lot of protein in with the cottage cheese, and you're dipping it. This is actually sick, Jeff. This is actually really... You might want to try this too. But honestly, I really like the food. The food is really good today. It's different from what I eat. If you've seen my other videos, I eat very basic. I would not say basic. I guess I don't eat typical. I do if it fits your macros, but I don't count macros. I just count protein and calories. And I think that's the best way because you have so much flexibility. There is a lot of benefit with the carbs. So for example, Jeff had gummy bears during his workouts, but he was working out in a gym a lot harder than I'm working out. But he has carbs intra-workout. I used to actually do that. I used to bring a pack of gummies, 80 calories, and do it while I was working out. And I think it really does help with longer workouts. But my workouts are like an hour at max. And I don't have so much heavy, like it's not super exhausting. I've done exhausting training before, and I do notice the benefit of carbs. And when I was doing keto, I was taking in Gatorade and BCAAs while I was training. I was training for a fight. And holy smokes, that like lit me up. Like I felt like I was on fire. Like I was just so energized. It was actually insane. Like I really did feel the energy from then. But if you're having enough carbs all the time, you don't really need to have carbs while you work out. If you're like on a bulk, in my opinion, I always eat a calorie deficit. And when I've done like harder cuts, then I do need something. Like I'll have a bit of Gatorade when I'm working out. Otherwise, I'll just take BCAAs or just water. Whoa, this is phenomenal. So I'm gonna finish eating all this. I'm gonna take a little break. I'm just doing some editing, but dude, this is actually really sick. So I'm gonna watch it, finish some work, and I'll catch up with you guys later. Alright guys, so I just wanted to recap the meals of the day and how I felt. I really liked the meal selection. It was all really good food. It was a lot of variety. And one thing I actually learned that was pretty cool from this video was the range of protein intake that are recommended. So from the studies he was looking at, he actually had 2 interesting ranges. One was based off your body weight in kilograms. I think it was 2 grams per pound. 2 grams per kilogram of body mass. So it becomes slightly less than a gram per pound, because the conversion between pounds and kilograms is 2.2. So it's slightly less than the gram per pound. And then he also goes off by height in centimeters. So my height in centimeters, I think, is about 180. And then my weight, I'm 160. And so slightly less than that was about 145. So that's the range. It's 145 to the height range of 180 for myself. So it's about a gram per pound. Like I'm 160, so that's like a nice average. So it's kind of cool how when you take those 2 things into consideration. But I never really looked at it by height. I've always went by weight. So it's something I'm actually considering putting my focus on, because I used to do high protein diets. I used to do about 220 grams when I was 200 pounds, and I was very, very overweight. The only problem I found was I felt food selection was very low. I was eating the typical bro foods. I was eating without the vegetables because I didn't like vegetables. So I just eat rice, chicken, oatmeal, egg whites, and protein shakes all day. Like I was literally having protein shakes like 4 times a day, at least 4 scoops a day. And I just felt it was so hard to stick to a diet because it was so, I just felt like there's so much restriction, and that sometimes when you have that much restriction, you're able to, it helps you because you can cut out everything you're not supposed to eat. You're so restricted, you can't really mess up. So there's diets I've done before, which is breakfast, oatmeal, 3 whole eggs, all the bodybuilding.com diets I've done, 3 whole eggs, maybe turkey bacon if you're lucky, and a shake or something. And then most times I don't like eating, or it would be oatmeal and eggs. I'm like, oh, I don't like that. I like eating bread and eggs, but I didn't know it better. I would just eat it all, or I'd eat what they'd say. And then the next meal could be like an apple and tilapia, nothing else. And I'm like, okay. So that kind of stuff really put me off dieting. I'm like, this is so like, I can suffer and do it. It's just, how long can I do it for? And then I'd rebound on and off. Jeff's diet, I actually really like. It's very, I would say, what's the word? It's very diverse. And he actually says that. It's good to get a lot of fruits and veggies in. I actually didn't have any veggies except for that was in the chili and some onions I put inside. I was gonna put spinach in my sandwich. Didn't have that. I didn't have the kale salad either. But as I mentioned several times, I'm eating less than him. I'm eating today about 20, just slightly under 2,500. And it's honestly, my energy was pretty stable throughout the day. I did notice I was slightly hungry between meals because, to be honest, I think it was food excitement. I was excited to eat something different from what I would typically eat. So I'd eat a meal and think, oh, my next meal is this because I'm making a video and have to talk about it. So I'd be thinking about it the entire time. The food was legitimately delicious. I liked the first meal a lot. I'm gonna do that again tomorrow. I'm just gonna increase the egg whites because I had 75 grams of egg whites. Tomorrow I might do 125 and keep everything else the same. I might take out the apple. I don't think I have any more apples left, but I think it's a great, it's kind of how I diet. It's just, if this is your maintenance, he's eating in a slight surplus. I typically always eat in a slight deficit because I am fat phobic. I've just been fat so much in my life. I just rather be leaner and I just feel good. And when I feel good, I do good. And if I do good, I look good. So you gotta eat good.